How many of you can honestly answer regarding the amount of products or objects that you use on a day-to-day basis that incorporates or has a component of material plastics? During your time of reflections, examples can range from Starbucks cups to straws to even small children's toys. When considering this, please think about how plastic has played such a vital role in our lives and to society as well. Plastics can be found everywhere around the world. Additionally, plastic is made to be quite durable and is a rather cheap method that accommodates the needs of everyday life. However, after years and years of wear and tear, microplastics can evolve into what we call microplastics. Microplastics tend to be the size of 5 millimeters or less. This has become a new genuine threat that endangers the lives of everyone and everything. This has become a more and more relevant story as people's lack of ability to properly dispose of material plastic. This is either due to lack of care or lack of effort or possibly even both. The Washington Post published a disturbing article that describes the consumption of microplastics within the human body. The effects of this have been undetermined, however, there have been concrete evidence regarding how harmful this can be to animal subjects. Additionally, the article estimated that there are around 75,000 pieces of microplastics consumed each and every year, while there is an estimation of 5 grams per week. This is a rather terrifying thought, as I'm sure everyone has been unconscious of the inorganic food that they are bringing into their body. I know I definitely was. According to Damon Carrington of The Guardian, studies have found microplastics within the fetuses of healthy women. Additionally, there have been through the small subjects that have been tested, there have only been a small percentage of the scanned fetuses that have found microplastics. This is another terrifying thought, as we are unconscious or unknown to how many microplastics are within the human fetus. The similarities and differences between healthy women with fetuses that have microplastics and what we consider unhealthy women and fetuses without microplastics have been undetermined. Additionally, the results of how the microplastics entered within the human fetuses have been undisclosed or undetermined. Although it is theorized that the microplastics entered through the bloodstream as it is small enough to pass around the human or the human body through this passage. The effects of this can be quite devastating within the short run and even the long run, as microplastics can bring many toxic chemicals that may that can definitely hurt the human body. Now that the genuine threat of microplastics towards human population has been disclosed, we will now be discussing the overall impact that has been over the wildlife and plant life around the world. The work published by the greenflags.org states that microplastics have come to a conclusion that microplastics have been now a generational problem, as animals reproduce and generations come and go. The problems still affect these organisms. The study also stated that the most common way that this has entered the organism is through consumption, as it may have fallen through their diet or gone in the way of their prey. Additionally, there have been effects or programs I've taken in order to combat these problems, and the answer to solving this has been proven quite difficult, as no one has completed or no one has come close to at least a wide scale of terminating microplastics in general. However, through small acts of volunteering or spreading awareness, this has decreased rather significantly around the world. Um, I know in my case, my teacher from in high school, he would have a program where we would go out and volunteer, and this is a nice way of me giving back to the environment, as we all cleaned up the washes, the beaches, hikes of the mountains, basically all the environmental places. Another thing that the teacher always asks to is to spread the awareness and spread how dangerous these microplastics can have both on ourselves, the human population, and even the world. Um, there have been effects taken, such as the changing of equipment, the proper equipment that does not produce any toxins um, their from their stuff. This is this can be described as or example. An example of this can be the dedicated gloves that to handling babies, or possibly infants of animals, or anything such as that. Um, Now that we have gone over the proper ways that we can help and save the environment, and the possible risks that it can bring through to wildlife and plant life everywhere, I would like to bring up the question of how many of you can honestly answer regarding the amount of products or objects that you use on a day-to-day basis that incorporates or has a small component of material plastic. I only ask this because I believe that the difference that you said before, or the answer that you said before, is different from what you know, from now what you said. And I only ask this as a concluding statement. What are you willing to do about it?